We have Angie Lee in the house. I have been so looking forward to this conversation. Welcome to the Feminine Frequency.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, we rain checked this
Yeah.
interview. We were going to try and do it when I was in Austin in person, and you moved into a new place. And
Yeah.
so I'm trusting in the timing. This is when we're supposed to do it. And yeah, since we sort of reconnected, because I knew you in San Diego and we had like mutual friends, but we didn't really know each other. And then yeah, since we connected about podcasting, I've been tuning
Mhm.
into your world more and just so deeply appreciating the way that you build community and really like your authenticity, but also your humanness. Like,
Mm.
there's some people who build really big brands and followings, and it feels like very disconnected or very distant. And something that you've done so well is being really human and being really relatable. And I really appreciate that about you.
That's so sweet. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to be the person that I am offline online. And
Mhm.
so people think it's like, is there a secret to that? Or like, what's the secret to authenticity? I'm like, I just don't waste energy. I'm just the same person. I don't know. I don't overthink it. I'm not like, okay, and then I'm going to show up this way and use this voice. And then this is who I'll actually be. It's not, I didn't overthink a lot. So I think that actually was the advantage to just keeping it really human versus I think a lot of times we get in our heads before we share content and we try to almost be somebody that we're not or that we think people want us to be. And
Mhm.
quickly on, I realized that that's really exhausting. And so I try my best to just to have that consistency in my authenticity. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, super
mhm,
appreciate that about you. And you've been in this game for a long time. You've been on in
mhm,
the game of entrepreneurship for a long time, and I've just been so inspired by your journey. And you've had some really big shifts, I would say, even in the last couple of years, which
mhm.
has inspired me to bring you on the show. You
Mm,
used to be really in the girl boss era. You went hard on building
mhm.
your business and doing
Yeah.
all the things, and you created a lot of success that way.
Mhm,
And then you kind of swung into the other direction
mhm.
of what you call your soft girl era. And I
Yeah.
feel like recently you're kind of finding that
Mhm,
sweet middle spot, which is really what I love to teach here on Feminine Frequency is that,
mhm,
we're not meant to only be in our feminine and
mhm,
in that energy all of the time. So I'd love
mhm.
for you to share about what your experience was dipping super far into what you call your soft girl era and what you
Mhm.
noticed when you were in that space.
Yeah, it's crazy. I did not expect that post to go viral. And now I've been interviewed on like six different shows about it. So it's been a big theme now that it's hard to put so much of it into words because it's so much. But I think that's so beautiful that the way that you see it is like, hey, you got to be somewhere in the middle. But I think ultimately, and I know this is, you use this word a lot, but I personally, even feminine, masculine, and like overthinking these terms. And it's like, okay, we all went so far into it that I got so brainwashed and exhausted into it that I was then thinking, am I doing being a woman wrong? Like, wait, am I not supposed to be doing because like the feminine is being? And then I got so freaking confused and I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like this is so exhausting. Like to be feminine, I'm supposed to like go frolic in the field and like wear dresses and like it was just like that's not me though. Like that's just not me. And but nobody who knows me would ever say I'm not like feminine. And so it's just this interesting we've almost like I feel like on social romanticized what is femininity and what is womanhood, right? And in reality, like the most feminine women I know, they don't even, first of all, they don't even use that term. They don't even know. They're not like, oh my God, I'm feminine. It's just like, they're just them, whatever that is, whatever it looks like. It's probably a mix of both based on the day and the time and the hour. Like it changes so much. So I feel like for me, that's what really got in my head is like, I almost started to overthink who I was, which ultimately is not feminine at all. It's like ultimately being a woman is owning exactly who you are. And, I think every woman's so different. I do think there are some women who can truly live that lifestyle of very, not a lot of challenge in their life. They want to be, they don't want a lot of difficulty. They don't, maybe they want to enjoy, what do you call it, the soft girl life? I don't know, insert in whatever that may look like, or what Instagram is portraying or TikTok is portraying with the chickens and the trad wife or whatever. Um, and I think there's elements of that, right? Like I love slow mornings. I value my sleep. Like anybody who knows me knows I'm a baby grandma. I love all my wellness stuff. But I think what happened is I took that so far then and thought like, oh, this will make me happy then. Like this is how I need to woman. This is how I need to do it because of stuff on social, which you just got to be careful what you take in and have discretion with it, obviously. And it was the most miserable I had ever been in my entire life. Like, I argue, like, it made me so anxious and masculine and depressed. And so it was just so intense on my system. Like, I truly believe that for me, like I'm meant to do big things. I'm meant to create. Like I love challenge. I love growth. I love that energy. I have a lot of fire in me. And that's just part of who I am. I've been that way since I was a little girl. Like I've just always been that way. So for me to deny that is it's actually, like, tuning out my life force, it's cutting off my creative energy, it's completely denying who I am so I can pretend to be some girl on Instagram who looks like she's happy, which we don't know, nobody knows the reality, so I think the cliff notes of it is I just went too far into another space, and then I was like, "I'm not happy here, like, this isn't truly who I am either," and so I really, like, kinda had to find this middle ground again because it really messed with my head. I mean, I had never been more depressed than when I was retired at 32 years old. It was the worst thing to ever happen to me. I didn't thank God, I mean, but I worked for it, but I didn't have to work, and so I was like, "Okay, let me see what this is like. Let me see what this would be like," and I don't have children yet, so, like, what did I do? I created chaos. I had no structure, I had n no job, I didn't have children. Like, what do you think I did? I literally
What were you
created
doing? What were
What'd you
you
say? What did
what
I do?
Yeah.
I don't know, I frolicked around, I hung out with girlfriends all day, I farted around, went on 10-mile walks. I don't know. My brain was like just trying to find something to do then because it was like, it needs a project. It needs something to be excited about. And so
Mm.
instead of doing that in a healthy way through my creativity or my expression, Clay always says, he's like, you basically created chaos. Like it was the worst thing for my relationship too, which is so fascinating because I think a lot of women think, oh, polarity, polarity, like being your feminine, being is masculine. But what was interesting is like for us, when I'm not in the very excited, lit up by my work energy, which I think is really attractive and beautiful, we don't do as well. Like he does when I went into that, it like threw us completely off. And so it was such a train wreck. It was so bad. And I finally just woke up one day like, why don't I try to just be who I am? Why did I think I needed to change? All because social media convinced me that it was like I couldn't like being a girl boss is bad or something. And it's like, why? But wait, I was actually happy. Wait, was I supposed to be burnt out? Because I don't think I actually was, but you're telling me I was supposed to be. It was such a like overthinking, paralysis, confusion, chaos. It was just so bad. It was so much. So I tried to make some posts about it. And sure enough, there's so many women who feel this right now. I mean, hundreds of messages from women who are like, oh my God, this is exactly how I feel. I feel like we're just trying to sell that there's these two extremes that you have to choose and there's no middle ground. And in reality, that's not really what it looks like. Most women vacillate and kind of go back and forth into different modes. And also these women who are selling like I don't know, I call it the ballerina farms, trad wife lifestyle. Let's be honest, that woman is making millions of dollars a year. She's a full time content creator. She's filming her children and her life every day, which like good on her. I think she should come out and be honest and be like, girl, this isn't soft girl life. I'm crushing it. Like I'm showing you chickens, but this is actually what I'm doing to maintain this empire. And so I think there's also a delusion going on, which thus confuses women. And we're like, wait, am I supposed to, is that how womanhood is supposed to look? Is that what femininity is supposed to look like? And so, yeah, I don't know. It's been interesting. I'm really glad I'm have like a holistic perspective of it now because I've experienced both extremes. So I can come from a place of like, okay, I've talked to many women about this. I've experienced both extremes. Here's my thoughts. But I think at the end of the day, you have to know who you are and like how do you operate and what's your system like because it might be very different than mine and it might and that's fine. So double down on who you genuinely are. So I hope that makes sense. It was a lot. And it was like something that I'm like, okay, I'm glad I created the content and put it out there. But now I'm like, soon I'm like done talking about it almost because it's like, okay, let's all just like live our lives. It's
Yeah.
too much to even process to think about. But yeah, and I consider myself a very confident woman, but I somewhere along the way, I think part of it was moving to Austin, to be honest. I think there's a lot of beautiful things about this city, but I think that there was a big movement around that. And it was like overthinking who I am and everything. And it was like, oh my God, this is so exhausting.
Mhm.
Oh my God, what am I doing? Like, I was happier before I knew about all of this. And so
Mhm.
I kind of am just going back to like who I was instead of like trying
Yeah.
to be some
There's
archetype or whatever. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm just going to wake up, be my silly goose self, work hard. That's who I am. I don't know what else to say.
Mhm.
And we can
Yeah.
think differently on this, obviously. I mean, totally like this. I'm not expecting you or any woman listening to this to like, I am not the gospel. I'm not the Bible. That's just my perspective.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about, these 2 ends of the spectrum, masculine overdrive and feminine overflow, and I talk about this in more detail in my book, and it's
Yeah.
like yeah, whenever we go too far in one direction, it's not healthy for any of us, whether we're men or women. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, right? Like we need to honor both of those
Yeah.
aspects. And I'm hearing that there is a bit of like almost putting yourself in a box that wasn't meant to
Mhm.
be your box of like, I should behave this way because that's how other women are behaving. And they say that that's what would make them happy. And yet, I think it really depends. Some women, do thrive with less stress, less pressure, and
Mhm.
they need more of that balance, or maybe they've gotten to a real place of burnout where they
Yeah.
can't keep going in that way. And of course, like the principles of feminine
Totally.
wisdom and connecting with your body and taking that rest is helpful. And
Mhm.
when you have creative energy and you have fire coming through and you're not doing anything with that, of course there's depression because you're suppressing this part of yourself that is meant to be making an impact in the world, that's meant to be creating and sharing and expressing, and it's wasn't happening. So it totally makes sense to me
Mhm.
why you felt that way, and it was like going against your true nature. And
Mhm.
really glad that you've come to this place of realization of, oh, that's actually not true for me. Like, what is
Yeah.
my truth? And ultimately, that's what I care about most for every woman listening to this
Yeah.
podcast is learning what is your truth, like what is true for you, because it may be different to what's true for me and what's
Mhm.
true for Angie. And
Yeah.
I've been feeling even in this past week or past 2 weeks is like, I don't feel like I have enough going on in my world, in my life. And when I'm in that space with too much spaciousness and too
Mhm.
much downtime, I don't actually feel that alive or that
Yep.
excited. Like there's not enough energy moving. And so I've been really looking at that of like, oh, okay, what gets to shift here so that I'm in that sweet spot for me of like having enough going on where I feel like I'm contributing and I'm just finding that sweet spot for myself. So I totally resonate with that.
Yeah, and I think like yeah, like everything is just extremes, and like you'll know. You know what I mean? I mean, that's part of I guess the intuition that comes with being a woman. You'll know when you've gotten to the point where yeah, if you're living on airports every single weekend and you're making zillions of dollars and you've seen your kids twice this year, okay, girl, yeah, like get your life in check. But most women I talk to are not in that place. They're not girl bossing so hard that they don't have a life outside of it. Like, and guess what? Business has seasons of this. This is something that again, anyone listening doesn't have to maybe fully agree, but I think being feminine in your relationship is very important, but in business, you do have to put that energy on. Like, I would never, ever bullshit a woman tell you that I did any of the things I've created from my feminine energy in my business. I mean, yeah, maybe the creative part and connecting with women and being in my heart and all of that part, but like, I've busted my ass and that's how it happened. And that's just the unsexy truth that I want women to know. And that's okay. And I enjoy being the voice for that right now when I think the trendy thing is like, just like, manifest it. It's like, girl, I didn't manifest this shit. Oh my God, I did not. You think I filled up a room with like 2,000 women at an event because I manifested it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. God, no. I every single day took deliberate action. It was so clear on like promoting it and doing it. Like I've always had to put on that hat and the energy, but I don't mind it. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. I'm in my masculine. I never even thought of that. I was just like, I'm a doer. I like doing things. And I think there are a lot of women out there who find joy being in that hustler energy, and that's okay. But I didn't realize it was okay because there's like this whole rhetoric now that like, oh my God, no, like it should just come to you and manifest it. Da, da, da. It's like, girl, that's such a disservice to tell most women, especially in the beginning of entrepreneurship. I would never tell a good friend that who's starting out. I would never. I'd be like,
House.
girl, you want to be broke? Yeah. But like, you want to like make great money and like build an actual massive business. It's going to take a level, it's going to take Proverbs 31 woman style. Like, you're going to have to work and you're going to have to sacrifice some things. You're not going to be able to frolic all day. And so I just like to bring voice to that, not to scare anyone, but just to give the realities of bring back hard work and bring back like it's okay to be a woman and like working really hard. I think God gave us hard work for a reason and it can be very very fulfilling on the system and the soul. And so that's kind of the season I'm in now is like, wait, I want to like talk to all these girls who are like, wait, I manifested and I'm still broke. I'm like, hold on, let me tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
So again, that's my thoughts. I know it's controversial, but like I don't know. I think there's a lot of like just we're not being honest with people about what it actually takes now in business.
I
Now,
think
and in business relationships, very different how you would show up. So,
yeah. So real, so
yeah.
true. Starting a business takes effort, energy, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I think it is a disservice because, you've got women who are like, "Oh, I just want to do that because it seems easier." And it's like,
Yeah.
well, if you actually want to be successful, you have to show up, you have to take action, you have to be committed, you have to
Yeah.
work through your shit that's standing in the way of you actually, putting yourself out there. Like it
Yeah.
does really require that. Yeah. I
Yeah, and
want
you
to.
can't always just do it when you feel like it. That's what's something that really screwed me over with, like, when I was reading about a bunch of books about femininity, it was like, feelings, 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 feelings. Here's the reality as a woman, if you're constantly only making decisions out of your feelings, you are going to live a very sad, chaotic life because
Mhm.
that's just not how we operate. Of course, I want you to feel I feel a lot. Clay was here right now, I'd be like, "Dude, this girl cries all the time." I feel a lot, but I was letting it dictate my emotions, and then thus I wasn't being getting anything done and being productive and holding myself accountable and building self-trust, and then I would go into depression. It was this horrible chaotic loop that I was getting into that I was like, "Oh my god, sometimes I have to just still show up and do the thing." Like, "Okay, you're not feeling 110 out of 10. That's just part of life." And I think that's what really screwed me up too, is I was like, "Oh, just feelings and feelings." And I think if I only went on feelings, I would probably work once a year, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm not like that's when I would just do it, you know? So, I don't know. It's a lot that I think we need to, like, rewrite right now. So,
Yeah, and that's a lot of the deeper work that I do with my clients is around emotional empowerment. It's like
yes.
not letting your emotions dictate your actions and learning how
Yeah.
to alchemize and process your emotions to come back into alignment so that you can take action and
Mhm.
understanding your emotional landscape as a woman because it is rough out there if you don't know how to do that. And said it's every aspect of your life. So yeah, I love just this like reality that yeah, we do have a lot of emotions and they're all over the place a lot of the time, and it's like, okay, how do I
Yeah.
acknowledge those emotions, process them, and not let them self-sabotage me or not let them take me out of the
Yeah.
game and stay out of the game for a long time. So yeah, I totally
Yes.
totally
It's
agree
yeah.
with you.
It's like
Yeah.
emotional regulation. It's a sign of maturity, honestly, and I really had to go through that. So it's been a painful last few years of really learning that, but I finally feel like I'm more so at a place where I've learned that. But no one taught me that. My mom didn't teach me. No one taught me. So I was just like, "Oh, isn't this the way you do it?" And
Mhm.
so I've had
Yeah.
to learn a lot.
Yeah. Talking about fluctuations in emotions, I know you
Mhm.
talk a lot about your cycle and you talk about recently you shared about like channeling your energy during luteal phase where maybe before it used to be like depression or wallowing in that energy and now there's like this fire that you've been channeling to like share certain ideas or certain
Yeah.
content that's maybe more potent or more direct than you
Mhm.
would in other times of your cycle. So tell us a little bit more about what that has been like for you.
Yeah, I think I've experienced a lot of really bad, I'll call it PMDD because that's definitely what it has been in many, many cycles. It's been a really stressful last few years of my life. And so with that, of course, my one of the side effects of that was my luteal phase is kind of lost my mind there. And so through some supplementation, progesterone and other things, I've worked on it a lot and I've balanced it. But one of the things I realized is in this season, as you can tell, I have a lot of like self-ownership energy now. I realized I was like, I was just letting it kind of like, I would ride the wave of what it was versus saying, "Hold on, you have some agency, you have some sovereignty, like, take a beat. Okay, yeah, you feel like you might wanna kill someone today, but hold on, hold the phone." And I realized, I was like, "What else is this energy? Oh, this is a very, like, strong, honest energy. Why don't I, like, twist it how I see it?" Almost like when you're anxious, you can kinda shift it and say, "Oh, am I excited?" before you go speak on stage. It's like, "Oh, it's kinda the same. They're cousins, anxiety and excitement." And so I kind of do the same thing where I mutate the energy a little bit. I'm like, "Okay, you are so fiery and so pissed off today." But like, how cool is that also? Because now you like go say your truth or go do something with that energy. And so I kind of just shift. I'm just trying to shift the thought process a little bit. Obviously, I know that's hard hormonally, and I've trust me, I know what that's like to get to the point where like I can't. This is not sustainable to live like this. But I do believe we have some control of how we shift that energy and then we show up in our lives during that. That's like half of the month, you know? So it's a big part of your life.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's kind of how I've been shifting that energy versus like, oh, I'm sad and depressed. It's like, oh, no, wait, hold on. What's here? Okay, there's anger. There's lots of fire. Interesting. What do we do with this? How do we play with this?
Mhm. Yeah, I have a friend, you might know her, Bryn Daler. I've had her
Yeah, of
on the.
course. I love Bryn.
Yeah, Bryn talked about she wrote something on Substack, I don't know, semi recently, sure. She's like, "I can't wait to be in my luteal phase so that my bitchy writing comes out." And it was like
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. I was like, "Oh,
Oh, yeah,
great."
it's my best, most, like, potent, like, rage bitchy rage self, but in the best way, and it's when I mean, especially as a comedian, like, I mean, I write some of my dark, weird shit then, and it's like if people heard some of the stuff in my notepad, I'm like, "Damn, this is so funny though." So, yeah, it's like your most raw self as a woman. It's like all the stuff that you're stressed about comes up, you're anxious about, but it's kinda like, "Oh, maybe you should make that phone call. Maybe you should send that email." Like, my last video phase, I pitched myself for this video for this brand deal, and it was like in this energy of like, "Why not? Whatever." Like, it was almost like this confidence came through, and then I got it, and I was like, "Oh my god." All because I led with this energy of like, "Yep, I'm gonna send that. I'm gonna press send on that thing." So I think sometimes if you can feel into it, you can kind of move the energy a bit. But oh man, being a woman's a trip because every day we do not feel the same. And I think that's hard. So I'm
Yeah.
just learning to always navigate it.
Yeah, it's definitely for me been such an ongoing journey of relating to my hormonal cycles and, how to best navigate that, especially as an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. I think there's, that's a whole nother layer of how do I show up authentically and
Mhm.
also how do I show up if and when I'm not feeling good? When do I actually rest? Like it's been such a
Yeah.
process. So I really appreciate you
Yeah.
shedding light on that. You just shared about, and speaking on stage and you speak in front of thousands of people. And I want to hear a little bit behind the scenes, like before you go out on stage, do you ever get nervous? Do you ever have self doubt after
Mhm.
your speeches? Like, what is that like for you as a speaker and
Mm.
that internal experience for you?
That's a really good question. I haven't really been asked that a lot. I'm one of those weirdo psychopaths who I'm one of those weirdos who I feel more comfortable and at home on stage than I do in a small group conversation or meeting a new person. So I think, and I like to be honest about that versus saying like, "Oh my god, it's so difficult." Yeah, of course, it's a little bit scary, of course, but after you've done it many times, the adrenaline isn't the same. And of course, there's times where after, like, there was one end of last year, I remember, and I was like, "Ooh, I haven't bombed in a long time," and I felt like I bombed. I mean, maybe someone watching it wouldn't have seen it, but I could tell where it was off, and it just wasn't. It was all new material, and I was like, oh god," and like I just knew when I got off stage, and Clay was like, "Yeah," he could tell because he just knows me so well and knows my content, but maybe they couldn't tell. So yeah, I'm definitely hard on myself, but in the way that I want to just keep getting better and do
Mm,
my best, and I know what I'm capable of, but I would say that I'm someone that my energy is very one to many. So sometimes I actually thrive more in that situation than I would like if you told me to go speak to like six women about something, I'd be way more nervous about like meeting new people is so exhausting and so hard for me. But if you were like, oh, go speak in front of like 60,000 people right now, I'd be like, okay, I'll like go show them my butthole. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm just very like, it's not hard for me to perform, but it would be hard for me to like facilitate like something intimate and deep. I don't know. It's kind of like that's actually where I feel more safe, if that makes sense.
yeah, it's so
Yeah.
interesting. I think about this a lot because I know lots of women in our industry who have that big star energy. And I've been curious about that for myself. I'm like, "Oh, I really love intimate spaces and I do a
Yeah.
really, really, really good job at creating those spaces and helping women to go really deep in those spaces. And I feel really comfortable in those spaces. And I also do like speaking and I like, reaching a lot of women, but like really instead of the comparison of like, I don't have star energy of like
Mhm.
recognizing that we all have our own unique way that we're meant to be in service and not everyone wants to be in a room with thousands of women and not
Yeah.
everyone wants to be in a room with six women and that we each just have our own role of how we're meant to be in service to the collective and yeah
Oh, yeah.
it's I really admire and feel inspired by and I love and it's really
Mhm.
cool to hear about your experience of like yeah I'm in my zone when I'm in that space and I feel it feels easier than being in a small intimate space. So I
Mhm.
appreciate hearing about that difference and that experience
Yeah.
for you.
Well, I love that you shared that because I always tell women that I'm like, we need both because who's going to do this? Who's going to do the intimate facilitations then? Like, you know what I mean? And we need, if everybody was one way or if everybody was performer star, then who's going to be, it doesn't, it wouldn't match up. And so I think that that's really good because we need women like you who can hold that because it's just a
Mm.
different thing that you're holding. But yeah, I always joke once I get on there after like a minute or two, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I can breathe. Like I literally, Clay always calls it a fish in water. He's like, wow, you really need to like, it's when I feel the most like, "Oh my god, I'm fine. Okay, I'm here. I'm alive. I'm here." Like, this makes so much sense. But then sometimes, like, I joke, "What if I have to, like, go to a networking event right now and there was, like, 5 people?" I'd be like, "Oh my god, I don't wanna go to a freaking networking event and, like, meet 5 people." Like, because 'cause I'm an introvert, but I'm like, a performer. So, like, that's where
Yep.
I just wanna get on stage, I wanna perform, make people laugh, inspire them, get off, go home. Like, I'm out, I'm booking ass, I'm going to sleep. So I'm like this weird, like,
You're not weird though, because I've heard a few different performers and actors speak on podcasts and in different places, and them sharing like, "Oh, I'm actually really introverted, and I
yeah,
would much rather, be on stage and then go home and not talk to anyone. Like, I don't
yeah,
actually want the center of attention in a social situation, but like,
yeah.
I would love to be on stage and be doing my thing." So
Yeah, it's
super
just so much easier for me. It's like, I don't know, to me, it's like, oh yeah, make all these people laugh or do it's like, oh, cool. Like I can control the energy and play with it and do that. But then when like after the event, if women come up to me after stage, it's just so sweet. And I try to do my best with it. But my bigger events, it would be hard, like day 3 of it. And it's like, hey, so my cat died. And you're like, oh my, I'm like, I cannot know about your personal life. So it's like very interesting because for a while I thought there was something wrong with me. And I
mm,
remember I was like really concerned. I'm like, what is this? I love these women. I love what I do. Why can't I hear about every single one of their stories? And yeah, then I learned after
a
talking to many
lot
people
to
about it.
hold for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't because it's usually not like light stuff. Like women will just come up to me and start sharing like really deep, heavy shit. And I'm just like, whoa, hold on. Hold on.
Boundaries.
Yeah, and I also like I think certain people are here for levity and certain people are here for depth. And I'm definitely on this planet for levity. Doesn't mean I can't go deep. I definitely can, but I don't live there as much as other people can. And so I want them, people who do that, awesome. You live there, I'm gonna live
Oh,
here. Like,
that I'm here
oh, it's
for.
deep stuff.
So
Yeah, I
I
can tell. You and I are like polar opposites. Yeah. Yeah, I can't sit in the deep shit. I'm like, this is so depressing. We just need to laugh. Everybody, like, we're rolling around on a ball in space. Like, do you really think any of this is gonna matter? No one gives a fuck. Like, I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Okay. We're all gonna die. No one's getting out of this alone. But then like, yeah, it's intense when I gotta like go real deep. So I'm like, hold on. I gotta like cleanse that off and reset.
yeah. Like,
So
we need both, and
yeah,
I
because who's gonna be the therapist then?
yeah.
Me as a therapist would be so funny. I'd be like, this isn't a big deal. Like, go
Oh
get your hair done, get a spray tan. You're
I
good,
see
girl.
a skit coming. I see a new reel coming
I'd be
along.
like, girl, get a spray tan. Have you ever gone a spray tan? It makes you like feel so much better about your life. $60. Thanks. Bye. Yeah.
Okay, so this brings me to this piece that you've been talking about lately that I love. You have been really using dance as therapy,
Mhm.
and like I love that you've been bringing this to your community and just sharing with women that yeah, we don't always have to go to the depths of like all this emotional processing. Sometimes we can dance to hip hop music or go to a class and just like forget about the world and just be in our bodies.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I would love for you to share more about what that
Yeah.
journey has been like for you of coming to dance as a form of therapy.
Yeah, and kind of, parallel to what we were just saying, I just feel like as women, we're in such a play deficit. I really think women are in such a silly goose deficit. Like I take it very seriously that I want to help people to not take life too seriously. It's like very, very serious how unserious I take it. But I think that as women, we're not meant to overly process everything all the time. I don't think our creator did that. I don't think he was like, all right, and now you're gonna have to heal all your childhood wounds, and then it's like, no, like he wants us to like go giggle our titties off with your friends. He wants you to laugh. Laughter is truly like the best medicine. It's so cheesy, but shaking your ass and laughing with girlfriends in a room, I argue, can be so much more potent than a therapy because I've seen it over and over and over and over with women. They're like, "Oh my god, I just needed to like go to a dance class." I'm like, "Yeah, you just needed to have some fun." They're like, "I can't remember the last time I had fun." I'm like, "What?" Like I get DMs from women who are like, "I don't know how to have fun anymore." And so I'm like, there's a deficit going on. I feel like dance is one of the ways to really get into your body, obviously, and play and to not think and to have fun. And of course, there's can be serious songs and you can obviously feel all of the feels. There's dance where you are, going to the depths and feeling sadness. I've used hip hop a lot to process sadness. So you can kind of, customize it however you want, obviously. I mean, that's what's so cool about dance is there's so many different types and kinds in music. But yeah, I discovered hip hop, gosh, like 2.5 years ago when I was in a really dark place. And it was like everything for me. I was like, what the frick? I did mushrooms, I did therapy, I did all this stuff, which hey, those have a time and place. I'm not shitting on any of those, but I did all those things and I was like still depressed. And then I went to hip hop class and I was like, oh my God, this is what was missing. This was literally what was missing the whole time. This $30 hip hop class. So yeah, it's been great. I met one of my best friends through it. It's been so fun. And then her and I put on Recess, which was this women's dance party event here. Like it was so magical. And just to look around and see women just having so much fun, just shaking their ass. It was like so funny and so great. It was the best. It was like one of the best nights of my life. So I do believe that as women, especially ambitious women, we live in our heads a lot. And so dance is just such a great, quick, immediate free. You could do it at home, fast way to get in your body, let go, and not think so much. And it's honestly where I get most of my creative ideas. Majority of my content absolutely came from dance class. And then I will, in between songs, run to my phone and write stuff down. Like that's where I come up with everything. I'm like dancing and then I think of something. So
I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I've always loved dancing too. I mean, when I was little, all my home videos are me just dancing in the living room for hours and hours. So it's just I don't know anybody who doesn't like to dance. I think if they say they don't, maybe they're just nervous to dance. Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I just wish more women would dance because it can really, really move energy, especially if you're feeling like shit. I'm like, all right, let me go to class. And then sure enough, whenever I leave, I'm like, new person, new woman, here I am.
You can shake your ass a little bit, you
Just gotta
know?
shake your ass cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta shake your ass cheeks.
And this is also one of my favorite things about the
Oh.
embodiment work that I do with my clients is like so many, including myself for a long time. I also grew up as a dancer. I
Mm,
danced all the way through high school. I did all different types of dance and then got into a space where I felt self conscious or I was just in my head all the time and took life really seriously. And
yeah.
then I found myself after my divorce, like going through more of a self exploration. And I went to a pole dancing class. So the first time I was in the class, and literally within 3 minutes, I was like, where has this been my whole life? Like, I feel
Mm,
so alive and I feel
yeah.
so free. And I'm like loving seeing other women in their bodies dancing. And since then, just really deepened my
Mm,
embodiment journey and teaching, guiding women
mm,
through practices. I guided a group through a practice last night in my program, Multidimensional Woman. And just this feeling of reconnecting
mhm.
with their joy or
Yeah.
allowing the emotions to flow, whatever is coming through in this session. And one of them messaged in the group afterwards. She's like, I just found myself like jumping in the air and twirling around for no reason after the class. And like, this is someone who's
Yay.
really struggling in her life and who has had a lot of
Mm,
challenge recently. And so just to have those moments of women
yeah,
reconnecting with their joy, I couldn't agree more with you that we do have such a deficit. And
yeah,
especially in the personal development world. And a lot of the women that I work with are really deep and, and or are really ambitious. And so really
yeah,
finding that sense of joy and play and aliveness. And
yeah,
I feel the most like childlike, playful, sexy fun when I'm dancing to
mm,
certain types of music. Like it just brings that out of me. And there's not a lot of other places in my life where I like
yeah,
really get to access that. So I love that
yeah,
you've found a style of movement that works for you, and then now you're
mm,
creating epic events where women
yeah.
experience that.
Yeah, it was so fun, like, the whole theme of the event was, like, serious healing girl era is out, silly goose era is in, and with all the bags said silly goose era, and it was just, like, so cool to see women who you could tell, like, they actually looked lighter and, like, looked different. They're like, "Oh, this doesn't have to be so serious." I'm like, "No, girl, like,
That's not the
you're
point.
you're trying too hard." Yeah, and so it's such a liberation for women who I think, especially if a lot of your life you didn't get to express that silly side of you. I think there's so much healing in the silly, and it's just yeah, I mean, think about it. Comedy is arguably one of the most healing arts there is out there. I mean, comedians are literally saving lives. I know it sounds crazy, but like everyone thinks it's doctors. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, do you understand how healing comedy is? It changes how we communicate with each other, society, how we process emotions. I mean, that's why it's my favorite thing. I think it's such a gift and it's something that I would just want to keep sharing because I mean, yeah, the amount of messages I'll get of women who are like, "Oh my god, I needed to like be a little bit more silly and like go shake my ass." Like that was actually the most helpful thing. It's crazy to me. I'm like, "Oh my god." That's just it always fascinates me.
Yeah, we've gotten
So,
a little lost as a society, and so we need those.
yeah.
And I love your reels and yeah, how you bring that humor to the wellness space and to the personal
Yeah.
development space and just like yeah, just that reminder that we get
Yeah.
to have fun with it and that it's important. Like joy and play is
Mm,
part of that is healing. That's
yeah.
something that is missing. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm loving that. Okay, I have a couple more questions before we wrap up
Mm,
here. You have built an incredible community over the years. And I know that there are women who are listening right now who are wanting to build communities,
mhm.
whether online or in person. And I'd love to hear from you. Like, what do you feel like it takes to build an epic community or to really be a leader that women want to be in your space?
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm actually going to be doing a master class on this soon. So you guys can DM me at Angie Lee Show if you want to come hang out and check this out. Cause I realized I was like, okay, let me put this into like, what are like the top 20 things? Like if I really had to teach community building, how did I do it? Like what exactly did it look like? So I'll share maybe like two of them right now because there's so many things that I think go into building what I call culture or community or tribes. First of all, read Seth Godin's book on tribes. It's really, really good. He has a really incredible perspective on how do you build tribes, cultures. I mean, cults. I know a lot of times we think cults are bad, but like cult, the word cult isn't culture. Like, how do we build cult-like communities that are obsessed with you and are, see themselves in you, and you've created like these awesome communities. So I would say number one is you have to also take people along the messiness and like the awkward middle stages too. I think we're always wanting to show like a polished, perfect version of ourselves. And I've been sharing my life on the internet since I was 19. So a lot of these women have really grown up with me. And I mean, it's been like 15 something years. And so I'm not the same woman I was now at 35, hopefully, that I was at 19. I was just, you know, meeting random guys, starting my blog, health and wellness, and that evolved. And so I've allowed them to come with me on the journey of the different seasons of womanhood. And they're not all pretty and they're not all perfect. And I think that's been really helpful. And that requires some vulnerability. And sometimes it does feel a little scary, but I do think that my vision is always okay, I want other women to feel seen and heard and feel less alone. And so that's always been at the forefront of whenever I'm creating something is like, okay, I'm obviously not in this alone. Like I can't be the only woman who's experienced this or feeling this way. And then something like a little tactical thing that I did early on that wasn't intentional, but then I learned later was actually a part of culture building is naming your community and giving them common beliefs. So a lot of times communities have a common beliefs and a common enemy. And you can see this in, when you study storytelling and scripts and things like that. But my community, the baby grandmas, I started that when I was in college because I was always like an old soul in a young body, PJs over DJs. Like it just became this thing. And now it became like a merchandise line and I trademarked it and it became a whole thing. But it started as a joke. And then I realized, oh, there's other women out there who are the same. They feel the same way. So let's all hang out. So give them a name. Now, it doesn't have to be something that you force. Give it a little bit of time, think about it, but if you give your community a name, they feel like they're part of something. People want to feel like they're part of something. And it's not just about you, but like they get to be the hero of the experience and of the journeys. Yeah, when I started the baby grandmas, then I was like, oh my God, these women feel like they're really, really part of this unique experience. And yeah, I think that's a fun thing to do. And then common enemy. So let's say like an example of this would be, let's say that you have a fitness community for moms who, postpartum, you're like, we're not doing hardcore cardio and strict dieting and calorie counting. We're doing this instead. So like the common enemy is like the diet industry. And you guys are like, screw the diet industries. Finding what are you also all not for? Like my baby grandma community, our common enemy is partying. I'm like, I don't party. Like we're not we're not drinking, we're not partying. And that kind of worked well. I came out with an alcohol alternative drink with Soul. So like it all kind of came together. But I think that's a huge thing that a lot of people are missing out on is naming their communities. I mean, Justin Bieber has the Believers, Lady Gaga has a Little Monster. Think what like God, there's so many. The Whole 30 people call them like Whole 30ers. Like there's all these different names for different health, wellness, fitness communities. Celebrities do it. I mean, everybody who has big communities kind of names them something to bring it all together and make it cohesive. Oh, and the third one I'll say is give them a spot to hang out and communicate. Give them a hangout spot. So whether that is an Instagram group, there's groups now where you can chat with them. You can give them a Facebook group. I mean, wherever you want to put your community, maybe it's a membership, you're putting them in Slack, but give them a place to hang out and meet each other. So it's not just about you, it's you are the facilitator of this community and this experience. But yeah, I love that question because that's my favorite thing to do is build communities. I just think it's so fun and it's really cool because that's one of the cool parts of the internet. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I don't like about social media, but I'm like I've met some of the coolest girls and I think that that's been really the most fulfilling part of it. So those are three little tips.
Epic. I love we just got like a little sneak peek of your masterclass. So
Yeah. So
definitely go
timely. Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
yeah, and I want to kind of wrap up. There's so much more that I want to talk to you about, but we're gonna start to wrap it up. And I want to hear, you've created a product line with
Mm.
your brother, and you guys have Soul CBD and amazing products. And yeah, I'd love to hear just like the inspiration behind that business, and if you want to share about your new product, Out of Office, and
Mhm.
where people can find that. I'd love for you to share
Mhm.
that too.
Yeah, we started it, gosh, 7, is it 8 years ago now? Oh my god. 8ish years ago, we had this little idea. Mike was a professional athlete and using it for pain. I was using it for anxiety and sleep and PMS. My cramps were so bad that I mean, Midol was helping a little bit, but I started to literally like drink bottles of CBD to help with the pain and it helped so much. And so we came together and we said, should we make this an actual business? Should we do this? And we thought that we were just going to be a CBD tincture line forever. And jokes on us, never say never, because now we have a microdose THC line. Out of office, our gummies, those are doing incredible. And then we have the drinks that are such a fun alcohol alternative that give you a little buzz without a hangover. So it's so crazy that what it started as is not what it's grown to be. But I'm just so proud and so excited because it's grown into something really beautiful. And yeah, it's had its ups and downs. We've had some really hard years and we've had some really incredible years. And really, the passion was to help people with anxiety, sleep, and pain in a natural way. Because unfortunately, right now, for anxiety, sleep, and pain, people are given medication, which here and there, I think there's a time and place for Western medicine, but I think majority of the time it's overused and it's not given out properly without this telling people what the side effects are and the damage that it can do to your body. And what's so cool about CBD is it's completely safe. There's zero toxicity level. You could literally eat our entire thing of gummies, and yes, you might fall asleep, but especially just the CBD ones, you might fall asleep, but you won't die, which you can't say about a bottle of aspirin or something like that. So what happened is my brother was on 8 different medications for his pain because he had a lot of different health conditions coming up with his career and Lyme disease, and he was so over medicated that he was like, "Listen, I got to stop." And so CBD was one of the things he used to really help his inflammation and get his body to homeostasis. So, yeah, it's been a wild ride, but we're really passionate to keep helping people to feel better and have fun. I mean, our new tagline now for Out of Office is making wellness fun. Again, the wellness industry obviously went too far and everything is so serious now and you got to like biohack all day. And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you just got to go hang out with your friends and have an Out of Office. So that's kind of our vision with Out of Office. And yeah,
So
you guys can grab it at getsoul.com. You'll see all the stuff on getsoul.com.
yeah, I love the branding. I love the messaging. I've tried some of your products and they're
Oh,
great. So we'll definitely make sure
thanks.
to link that in the show notes. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today. I've loved, yeah, learning from you and connecting with you. And for our listeners who want to dive deeper and get into the baby grandmas community, where can they find you?
Yes, if you wanna be a baby grandma, if you go to bed early and you rather drink some chamomile tea than go to a club, you are a baby grandma. You can come hang out on Instagram at Angie Lee Show. AngieLee.com is my website. And then, yeah, getsoul.com if you wanna try any of the products. I highly suggest the sleepy gummies are amazing, very baby grandma approved. Best sleep of your life, our sleepy drink. And then, yeah, Out of Office is really fun for the summer, especially too.
Beautiful. Well, we'll link all of that in the show notes. Thanks again for coming on.
Of course. Thank you, Amy.